Harkel is a different organization. We're solution providers. So even if you notice on our website, you don't see necessarily product, you'll see projects that were completed, clients that had ideas or we brought in. It's consultative selling.
Hi, Howard. It's good to chat for a third time. So let's talk about sales for a second.
Sure.
How did you get involved in sales? What was your very first sales job?
Well, actually, my very first real sales job was when I joined the company here about 37 years ago. I had finished school, studied design at Sheridan, decided to move to Los Angeles and try and be a designer to the stars, and then ran out of money, came home. My late parents started Harkel and said, with your skill set, it would be great to have you on board. It was just the two of them. So I joined the organization, and I always had a passion for sales, but I never really considered it sales. I considered it finding a solution for a client's concerns, issues, problems. And that led to doing a really good job in sales. And I've embraced it, love it, and I'm very passionate about it. Harkel is a different organization. We're solution providers. So even if you notice on our website, you don't see necessarily product, you'll see projects that were completed, clients that had ideas or we brought in. It's consultative selling. It's a huge, huge difference. So the team here has to know product, has to know timelines, availability, has to know the different finishes, and a different approach where we really want to be part of the organization. What is the company's growth rate in the next 2, 3, 4 years, not just the sale. We have some clients that one of my largest clients started with 8 people in their office, and now they have over 1,000 people all across Canada. That's really satisfying. So it's really a different approach to selling office furniture. We're not a catalog house.
That's right. That's
So,
right. Passion is
all right.
good. I like this flat, dry kind of stuff. That's amazing. So what about training, like sales training? Where does
Yeah.
that all begin?
Yeah, we created our own sales training model. Any of our salespeople that are brought on board, our expectation is really, I'm not expecting you to bring in revenue till about 9 months. The first 3 months is learning our organization, what we stand for, our 3 pillars, which is, product knowledge, client satisfaction. We want to make sure that attention to details is there. We model our sales training program off of let's say you were working for a high-end restaurant. Product knowledge, you have to know what's on the menu. Attention to detail, you got to put the order in right so the client gets what they asked for. And customer satisfaction, I mean, as a waiter or waitress, you work on tips.
That's
So,
right.
it's the same in our industry. So our training program is really intense about product, how we go to market, how the furniture gets installed, all aspects of what it takes from beginning to end on a project. And like I said, I don't expect a sales rep to be good enough for our clientele till about 9 months.
9 months.
It's different.
Okay.
Yep, it's different, but it's satisfactory because their close rate will be fantastic because of all the effort we put in as an organization. And it's my management team.
What about customer service after the sale? I mean, that's a huge part of your industry. Tell me about
Huge.
that.
Harkel has a huge infrastructure. We invested heavily in from our design department to our logistics department. I mean, we have one person that's designated just to making sure client satisfaction is there. If stuff comes damaged or it comes late, it's part and parcel. I mean, we can do a great selling job. The manufacturer can make it perfect, but it could be installed and something gets dropped or something gets missed. That's the most important part, and we recognize it, and we have specific people in that role to make sure that our client satisfactory level is great. And look, the business is over 44, almost 45 years old, and we have 8,000 active clients, 3 different verticals between healthcare and education, either public or private, and corporate. I think we're doing a great job. I'm very proud of our team, very proud of the management team. And it's fun to go to work every day. It's great.
It's supposed to be, right? It's not supposed to be painful.
Well, it shouldn't be a burden. It shouldn't be a
Right.
burden, but even at the stage where we are and going through a pandemic and interest rates changing and real estate downtown changing. We're still flourishing, which is great. Nobody leaves our organization. We've had people here that are working for almost 30 years. It's just a real cool place to work, and we try to make sure everybody's included. And yeah, it's fun.
Demanding but fun. So,
Yeah,
I were to ask you if you were to provide some sales tips just as a whole from all these years of,
sure,
experience and learning, how can we close this discussion with some really strong
sure.
sales tips?
I found that a lot of salespeople get into this role because it gives them, they don't have to work 9 to 5. But true salespeople, true successful people, it's more than 9 to 5. For myself, I see clients during the day. I'm working on business development. I'm doing stuff like this, that I spend my evenings doing more of my paperwork. Not every evening, but it's the only way that I can do it. Sales is a process. It's about qualifying your clients. It's understanding what the qualification factors are. Because if it's not your client, you're not going to sell it. If you don't have the product for the client, you're not going to sell it. So be true to yourself when you're doing your forecasting. What is real? What isn't real? In our industry, we talk about timelines. If someone comes to me and says, I need furniture tomorrow. Well, we're not Walmart. We don't have stuff on shelves. So that isn't a particular client. Again, it's a science. It's an art, sales. What do you need to be better? What is your perfect client? What isn't your perfect client? It doesn't mean that you reject it, but if it may not be good for them, our solution. So you really, really have to look at sales as it's a real profession. It's just not, hey, I didn't do well in school. I'm going into sales, or I'm not
Right.
great at typing, so I can't do custom, so I'm going to go into sales. No, sales is an art. It really is an art.
A lot
And
harder to get them for us. That's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Oh,
There's networking that can help build your business so you're not cold calling, and how do you deal with that? Harkel is business to business, so it's a little bit different. What are your competitors doing? What aren't they doing? Knowing your competitors' products. It's taking time to educate yourself, knowing your products. You have to know your products inside out. And I always say to my salespeople, it's like, you're going to have surgery this Friday, and you walk into the doctor's office, and he starts pulling books off the shelf and looking into the books and reading it to understand the surgery he's going to perform. I would be nervous sitting at that chair going, I wish I had someone that had performed this 1,000 times before. So
mhm.
be in that position as a salesperson that you can offer advice that is actually of value. And you don't know everything. There's always stuff that you have to get back to them on. But the majority of things you should be able to say in confidence that it'll work. And it's either through experience or learning and training.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
It's what you said earlier. You mentioned passion. If you don't
Passion.
have the passion, it's not going to drive you to educate yourself, to take the time to learn, to
Absolutely.
all of these things that you
Absolutely.
just mentioned.
Yeah.
This is great,
And
Howard. Thank you.
and if it isn't your passion, I don't mean to say it, find another career, but maybe it's another product that does make you excited. I mean,
Mhm.
office furniture or healthcare furniture, to me, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I'd rather sell golf equipment or some other
Right,
passion that I have, but I
right.
really, really enjoy it. And I enjoy the different fabrics and finishes and different ways stuff goes together, and seeing the end result and the design aspect of it. So for me, it's everything.
Thank you so much. This was great.
My pleasure. Anytime.